The self-help personal development industry is worth roughly $50 billion. They're publishing around 15,000 books every single year. More podcasts, more seminars, more courses, more coaches than any point in human history. And here's what no one is talking about. A large percentage of the people who buy those books, follow those programs, attend those seminars, see zero real lasting change. Zero. Research shows the more aggressively you chase happiness through self-help and personal development, the more miserable you become. So either millions of people are just too lazy to apply what they're reading and learning, or the whole approach is wrong. In today's video, I'm about to expose it all. You've probably tried the morning routine. Maybe you've done 75 hard before. You've gotten the cold plunge. I know, coming from the guy who cold plunges. You're hitting the gym, the productivity system, they said that would work for you. The time blocks, the 90-day goals. And if you look honestly at it, some of it worked for a little while, or it's working right now in one area. But if you look at it honestly, there's probably another area of your life that's quietly falling apart. As an example, maybe you're crushing at work. You're putting in 12-hour days, working hard for your family. You walked into the door last night, however, and you didn't hear a single word your kid said. You heard it through your ears, but you didn't actually hear it. You weren't present. You're mentally somewhere else. You're mentally somewhere completely different. Or you're at the gym every single morning before 5 a.m., every single day, but your marriage is running on empty and you can't figure out why. You're starting to feel like roommates and you can't put your finger on why that's happening. Or maybe you're consistent with your fitness, your business, your finances, but your relationship with God is still an afterthought. I call this siloed discipline. And before I go any further, let me define that first. Siloed discipline is when you're highly consistent in one area or two areas of your life, while the others quietly fall apart around you. You've got one silo standing tall, the rest of the farm is on fire. The most famous example I can think of would be David Goggins. Unbelievable in his physical discipline, but I can't help but think that comes at the cost of other areas of life. To specialize, you have to sacrifice things. And when you look at that level of single area obsession, it has to come at a cost, like I mentioned. Look at what the sacrifice on the altar of one area to build that consistency and discipline in the others, or in that single one. And look, the irony is not lost on me here. I've been running a coaching company of some sort for the last 13 plus years. Fitness, business, life, mindset, personal development. I've helped coach thousands of people in different industries. I've coached hundreds of men in my current program. I'm part of this industry. I've built a business inside of myself. So when I say the self-help and personal development space is missing something, I'm not throwing stones from the outside. I'm standing inside the house and something doesn't feel right. The foundation of this house feels off. But here's what 14 years of working with people has shown me. These things matter. Nutrition matters. Fitness matters. Mindset matters. The morning routine, the systems, the disciplines, they're not worthless. Without understanding this one thing though, you'll keep getting inconsistent, siloed results. You'll keep stopping and starting. You'll keep building in one area while watching another one collapse every single time. I've had front row seats in seeing this hundreds of times before. That one thing I'm talking about today is the condition of your heart. Paul Tripp wrote about this. He said, trying to change someone's behavior without addressing the heart is like stapling fruit on a dead tree. It looks fruitful for a season. The apples are there. Externally, you can see the fruit, but they've been stapled on. But the fruit was never grown on that tree, and the tree is still dead. That's what the self-help and personal development industry is selling you. Better staples. More efficient ways to attach fruit that was never grown on the tree. Your habits are not your problem. Your habits are a symptom. They're downstream of something much deeper. Proverbs 4:23, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Your disciplines, your patterns, your decisions, what you do with your mornings, how you treat your spouse when you're tired, whether you open your Bible or you go to your phone. All of it flows from what's happening at the level of your heart. Hey, by the way, I put together something that I call the Idol Audit that you can download. It'll be in the show notes. It'll help you identify where you gravitate to, its comfort, control, power, approval, and how it's impacting your life as a leader. Grab it in the description, and now let's get back to the video. Your emotions aren't problems to be managed. They're signals pointing to something. Why are you doom scrolling every single night? Scrolling is giving your heart something it's craving. Why do you stay up late watching another show when you know you have to be up at 5? That's a comfort problem. You're feeding the flesh instead of having the discipline to get up early and feed your spirit on the word. And conventional worldly wisdom would say, or knowledge would say, hey, just try harder, just do better, which might work for a time. But as you go throughout this video, you'll see why that doesn't work and doesn't have longevity to it. Why do you reach for your phone the moment you wake up instead of reaching for the word? Your heart has been trained to worship stimulation before it's been trained to worship God. The world's framework is feel, then act, then think. You feel anxious, so you act anxious. You make decisions from that anxiety. You feel angry, so you're justified in the anger and frustration, and you act from that. You're not looking back and saying that there's sin inside you, that it's everyone else's problem, that you can't control your emotions. You're cold and distant with your family, and that becomes acceptable because a feeling gave you permission. You've justified it. The Bible flips that. Jesus flips that on its head. Act, then feel, then think. You obey first, regardless of what your emotions are doing, and the feelings and then the thinking realign. When you feel anxious in the morning, that anxiety is not just noise in your head. It's pointing to something you're protecting, something that doesn't have God on the throne. Where are you not trusting God? Ask yourself that. When you feel angry, frustrated with your family because they're interrupting your work time, that anger is a signal. You have misordered desires, misordered loves. You ask yourself, what am I protecting? What's on the throne of your heart that's more important than the people in the room with you? Many people watching this video have no problem being disciplined in your work. 10, 12-hour days consistently, 50, 60, 70 hours per week, no issue. You're driven, relentless, you're building. But what if that consistency is actually evidence of idolatry? What if your business is sitting on the throne of your heart right now? What if that's why you can sacrifice sleep, margin, weekends, and relationships, presence for your company, but you can't sacrifice one Netflix show for your marriage, one missed deadline to watch your kid's game? You're incredibly disciplined, most likely just not for the right things. They're misordered. You're disciplined for yourself, for your success, for the thing that you made your primary worship. Matthew 6:21 says, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. You're giving your best time, your best energy, your best focus, your best sacrifice to that thing, protecting it, glorifying it, building your life around it. That's worship. The object is just wrong. And when that object is on the throne, your disciplines will always be lopsided. You'll be consistent where your idol demands consistency, and you'll collapse everywhere else. Thomas Chalmers, I've mentioned this a few times before, a Scottish preacher in the 1800s, wrote a sermon called The Expulsive Power of a New Affection. And the argument is this: you cannot remove a desire by force. Willpower doesn't work. Gritting your teeth and trying harder doesn't work. The only thing that expels a lesser love is a greater one. This is why behavior modification always fails long term. You're trying to kill the fruit without touching the root. You're trying to remove a love by force. The self-help and personal development industry has tools for that. Better willpower strategies, better accountability systems, better habit stacks. But none of it touches the heart. What Chalmers understood, and what most men never figure out, is that your desire for fitness isn't the problem. Your ambition in your business isn't the problem. Desires aren't the problem. The order of your desires is. Isaiah 55:2. Why spend your money on what is not bread and your labor on what does not satisfy? You keep investing in things that can't truly fill you. Your heart just hasn't found something better yet to realign your priorities and then your habits. When God becomes your primary desire, when you pursue Him in the Word, in prayer and surrender, when you lean into Him instead of on your own strength, everything else gets reordered. Chalmers called it right. Discipline follows affection. It always has. You stop being the man who's disciplined in one area and falling apart everywhere else. You become that consistent leader that you know you want to be. Consistent in the mental, the physical, the spiritual, the relational, and the professional. You start working from a different place entirely, working from surrender, stewardship, from humility, from the understanding that your body, your business, your family, your talents, you don't own any of it. It's all been entrusted to you. Everything good comes from God. So then you work out because He gave you a body and you want to steward it well. You build your business because He gave you gifts, and burying them in a napkin isn't faith. You show up for your wife because He gave you that covenant and it reflects something about His character. You want to exemplify the gospel with that relationship. All of it pointed back to Him, held with open hands. Lord, show me what to do with what You've given me. That kind of consistency doesn't come from a new system. It doesn't come from a morning routine or a cold plunge or a 75-day challenge. It flows from a heart that's been reordered. Get the love right, everything else downstream takes care of itself. Hey, thanks for being here today. I wanted to let you know I created a video that walks you through the whole system. Again, ironic, but this system is built different than any other one I've seen before. It's built around this. It's built on the Mission 5 framework, starting with your identity in Christ as the foundation. Everything else, purpose, routines, goals, habits, mentally, physically, spiritually, racially, professionally, is built on top of that. It's going to pop up at the end of this video. I invite you to watch it, and I appreciate you being here. Let me know your biggest takeaway from the video in the comments. If you had any, I try to read all of them. If I can't reply, you'll know I've read them, and I appreciate all of you. Thanks for being here. Subscribe, like, all that good stuff. If you found it beneficial, share with a friend. Until next time, earn your dopamine.